You remember radio, that box that serves you commercials with your coffee? When you want music? And music when you want news? Well, at least we Canadians still have the CBC.
Good Saturday morning, Canada. Welcome to Basic Black. I'm Arthur Black. And coming up on today's show, well, Arthur Black.
He was in demand before there was on demand. Saturday mornings at 10:05.
I spent 30 years at CBC.
When the Canadian Broadcast Corporation was king, long before the internet was cast.
I love the radio because it works for the ear. You know, if you paint it well enough, it'll work.
A time when this court jester would don his painter's hat and color our kitchens with wit and wisdom.
It was easily one of the best jobs I ever had. That was magical times. Yeah, they had money, no heavy lifting, all the tea and coffee you can drink, a roof over your head. There was a lot of people with good ideas, and they were willing to try things and make things different. You know.
I met one of those good ideas at his home on BC's Salt Spring Island.
No dress code, of course. It's radio, nobody can see you.
To share his views on writing, retirement, Canada, and the CBC.
I could read the 6 o'clock news wearing a Bozo the Clown nose and a purple tutu, and no one would be the wiser. I listen to CBC, but it distresses me a lot. It was the place you went to get what you couldn't get anywhere else on a radio dial, and now they're trying to imitate what you get elsewhere on the dial. You know what I like best about Canada's national symbol, the beaver? It's not imperial. I'm sad. I think CBC radio is the best thing that ever happened to Canada. I really do. Canada chose a docile rodent with buck teeth, a pot belly, and a tail that looks like it was run over by a Zamboni. It's basically been starved to death. Every government from Mulroney on, certainly, and that includes the Liberal governments. It wasn't just a Conservative plot or anything like that. They've systematically bled the cow. And I don't know how much blood it's got left in it, but not much, I wouldn't think. We could have opted for a ferocious wolf, a majestic moose, a mighty bison, or a fearsome polar bear. And I hear this all the time when I go across the country. It's what holds the country together. And it, in a sense, it is. You know, I mean, because if you go to a private radio station, you're not going to hear anything about Newfoundland or about Prince Rupert, for that matter, unless there's an axe murder. We went with the flabby fur ball. It wouldn't harm a black fly. CBC still makes the effort. It's still got people out in these outer places that get back to us, you know, that tell us.
Art still rides the CBC airwaves with a bi-weekly show on All Points West.
Called Planet Salt Spring, which they can't hear on Salt Spring, so I can lie. It's a geographical anomaly, so it makes it very hard to hear. I can't pick it up here at all. So I can tell all the stories I want, and I don't get beat up in the shopping line. You know?
He writes a monthly column in Zoomer magazine, a weekly for over 40 newspapers. 16 books bear the black label. 50 Shades is hot off the press.
It's not always just humor. Sometimes I like to rant, so it's like making a sandwich. You know, I put a little bit of butter on here and a little bit of sauce over here, and then I slip the meat in the middle. If you make them laugh, you can make them listen too. 3
of those sandwiches are real heroes, each winning the Stephen Leacock Medal for Humor.
It just blew me away. That was my Pulitzer Prize as far as I was concerned. That was the prize that I most coveted, if any.
So how does this aging icon keep up the pace? Art's advice to the graduating class.
If you want to change your life, if you want to be a success at whatever you want to be a success at, get up early. How early? Crack of dawn early, I told them. Get up early and work on your dream. Read, paint, sketch, sing, write, knit, whatever. About 3 year after that, I got an email from a woman in Edmonton. She said, you know what? I'm now working on a movie production thing. And she said, that advice made all the difference in my life. She said, that's how I got this job.
At 70, Art's nearly as lean as the CBC and a bit smarter.
It's like every morning I wake up and I say, hooray, hooray, I got another day.
He says he'll never retire.
Can't imagine not writing. I hope I never have to quit. I am not a coot. Neither am I a geezer, a buzzard, gramps, or old-timer. Somebody once said, like, I'm getting old, and it's very interesting. And it is. Curmudgeon? Yeah, sometimes for sure. Elder, I suppose, though it sounds a little priggish and highfalutin to my ear. To tell you the truth, I don't much like any of the terms customarily draped over those of us who have attained a certain measure of maturity, except for one. I think I could handle being labeled a jubilado. It's what Spaniards call their retirees. In English, it means pretty much what it looks like. Jubilant one.
On Salt Spring Island, I'm...
How do you spell Beilstein?
Paul Beilstein. With Canada's jubilado, Arthur Black.